Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the DVC Show. I am your host, Paul Krieger, this week, and I am super excited to be joined this week. No one knows who I'm going to start with, where I'm going to start. I'm going to start with our newer guest this week, Senior Sales Associate with DVC Resale Market, Jody Gross.
Hello.
Also Senior Sales Associate with DVC Resale Market, Derek DeBoer.
You get two for the price of one, Paul.
Hey-o.
Two senior agents for the price of one.
My lovely wife and loan origination manager for Monera Financial, Amy Krieger.
Hello.
And then our wonderful producer, John Sakari, back in the nook back there, a.k.a. Big Fat Panda.
Hello, everyone.
So thank you guys for sort of joining in with us this week. We're already off and rolling here. For those of you that have not subscribed to the Diz Unplugged Patreon channel, this series of shows, so we do film like 4 shows at once when we film, but this entire series, we are live on Patreon for the $25 and up tier, I do believe. So if you're not subscribed to Patreon, I'm going to probably mess this up. Patreon.com/DizUnplugged.
Correct.
Hey-o. Did it right. So definitely, you get some more behind the scenes content if you subscribe to that. So join in the fun. Currently, we have Calvin in the chat with us. So shout out to Calvin for watching us live.
Thanks for putting up with us, Calvin.
Thank
Calvin.
you. Thank you.
He's still here?
Yeah, Calvin had a wonderful whirlwind of stuff for about 20 minutes before we started here. He's learned so much about DVC and hair products.
I was just going to say Calvin's going to have the best looking hair. That's all I'm going to say.
It's going to be amazing. Yeah.
Amy's tips.
We're going to have our own show. It's going to be Amy's hair tips. And she's going to have affiliate links for all the products she uses.
Look at that girl. She's not just phoning it in.
Like, except for the back shot, like there's some of it's still wavy in the back.
I will
see some waves in there.
I will only
Oh my gosh.
prolong this one more second to say that we traveled last night. We stayed at a friend's house because it was Mardi Gras. We threw beads off the floats at Universal Studios Orlando Resort. I said way too many words there. But Amy traveled with her she has a Dyson blow dryer that I got her for Christmas.
Good job.
But it comes in this giant purple box, and it's like this big, and she just carries it under her arm when she's traveling.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
So you were throwing beads with one hand and carrying your blow
drying
dryer
your hair
in the other
with the other. All right. I'm going to get us back on track here. This show and all of our DVC shows are sponsored by the world of DVC. So if you do love our ramblings, our ranting, all of this fun stuff, please show some love for our sponsors, DVC Resale Market, where if you're looking to buy a DVC resale contract or sell a contract, that's going to be the home for you. Monera Financial is going to help you finance that purchase of a DVC resale contract with some amazing rates. And then DVC Rental Store, if you're looking to try before you buy, rent some points, rent out your own points. We actually, over at DVC Rental Store, guest pricing just dropped over there, and we're seeing a crazy increase in demand. So it's definitely the time to either rent points or rent out your points over there. So please show some love for our sponsors. But to the topic at hand today, as you probably have already seen in the title of this video, we are talking about DVC resort-only stays, which we know is something that's happening more and more frequently right now for members. So essentially, they're showing up at the property, they're going to check into their home resort, but they're not going to go into the parks. And we probably won't steer too much down the road as to why, which is probably annual passes, if Disney's listening.
It's a separate show, Paul. Separate show.
But truthfully, that is probably the reason why a lot of these people are choosing not to go into the parks, because ticket prices are very expensive. They don't have annual passes right now, so they're still trying to make use of those DVC points that they bought and enjoy a vacation from it. So actually, just recently, Amy posted an article over on the DVC Fan website, dvcfan.com, called Disney Activities for DVC Resort Only Stays, and sort of was the inspiration for this episode. So, Amy, tell us a little bit about your thought process with this topic.
Yeah. So this is actually a topic that I covered originally when I used to write for Moving to Orlando. And the whole idea was that annual passes are not being sold. And we had a lot of locals who, were like, I still want to experience Disney. I still want to do things at Disney, but I really don't want to pay for park passes or park passes for, you know, X amount of days. I just want to be able to go and enjoy being there. And so what else is there to do? And so I thought about it and I was like, you know, there's a lot of DVC members right now that are experiencing the same thing. They have their DVC, they want to use their points, they want to come and stay, but, you know, park tickets are expensive. And if you don't have an annual pass, it adds up, and it's hard to just, you know, want to go and spend, you know, 7 days of park ticket money. Because we took my mom like when did we take her? November, and one day with a park hopper was $220, and that was before even adding Genie Plus and using that. And we ended up not even park hopping because she just didn't make it that far. But yeah, that's a lot, you know, and that adds up for a family, you know, family 4, family 5, or however many people. So what other things are there to do at Disney that you can still enjoy the experience of being there and not actually have to go into a park? And there's actually, when you start digging into it, there's so many things. There's, you know, so many things at the resorts that are available. There's things at other, you know, locations at Disney Springs, at, you know, Putt Putt and golf courses and things like that. So I made a list. It's not even comprehensive. I didn't even dive as deeply as I could have because it would have been just a really long article. But I made a list of just some things.
You could have gone on and on.
Yeah.
I like to microwave food. That's what I like.
It's
no more.
It's a small novel of an article, but yeah. So I think throughout the show here we'll go through the list a little bit. I don't think we'll have time to cover them all, but I thought a good starting point for this would be to just maybe go around the room and name like one thing each that we have done or that we like to do that's around Disney that's maybe not in the parks but is around a DVC resort. And I think there's no one better to start with than a person that I feel like has done everything at Disney over his time in covering it over the years, and that would be Panda.
Okay, so it's funny. I thought for sure you were going to go to Derek.
I did too.
I knew it was you, Panda. I knew it was you.
Do they have the ceramic thing at the Contemporary anymore? Because I miss it and I'm mad that I miss it. Do you know about this?
You mean that castle thing?
First it was a castle. There was also another one where you painted it and everything.
Yes, I believe that they do still have some of those like art workshops and things like that. I don't know if they're like specialty classes as much anymore or if they're in like the community centers or the community halls.
hall,
Okay,
right.
but is that where we're
That
looking
they
for that
have.
type of stuff? Because I
Yeah.
thought that was a
Yeah.
really cool offering.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about it.
I didn't go. I just saw. I wanted to. I
It's
saw.
his favorite thing to do.
It's
Eventually.
my favorite thing to do.
In
I
his
saw
mind.
pictures of it, and it was like the price was very. Go ahead, Paul. Go ahead. Paul's ready to comment. It was very inexpensive, and I think there were certain times, and I never went to do it, but I wanted to. So I just hope that that's there. But other than that, I'm trying to think. I'll come up with something else as well.
I know that they do that. They also do they do some like art related like paintings, almost like paint and sip. They did do paint and sip classes back at Reunion Station for a period of time, which is over at Wilderness Lodge, and those were very. I guess they weren't popular because I think they went away. I don't know if they brought them back or not. If you hear noises, I'm sorry, they're weed eating behind me. So if you see grass start to come through the window, just let me know.
Not a hurricane.
Not a hurricane or anything like that.
Back to
but
Paul, and he's bald.
I did get a haircut. Yeah, they've had those classes around for a while, and I know they're highly popular. And they do tie-dye out on the lawn.
I
and
feel like
things
they
that.
don't like toot their horn as much as they should
I
for stuff
agree.
like that.
They don't.
I didn't know about it unless I passed the sign. So
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Jody.
Well, I mean, I like Panda. I always see the art classes. I think it's at either Coronado or Caribbean. I always get those two confused. There's like a painting class you can take. But I'm honestly a fan of hanging out at the pool and just not having to go anywhere. And, you know, when the kids were little, we would do the movies at night and the campfire, and all of that's free or included in your stay. Not really free, but you are paying the price, but it's included in the stay. And I like being lazy and just plopping it at the pool and doing the things that are on that particular property. The movies, the campfire, when the kids again were little, we would do the community hall. They always had arts and crafts or some kind of, one time there was a ladybug thing. They were releasing ladybugs. I mean, there's always cool stuff.
I agree.
I mean, there's something going on all the time.
Make sure you get that little activity list. So every DVC resort
Yes.
you check into, they'll have that activity calendar.
Yep.
Like Jody said, some of the stuff is not going to be on there. So if you just want to lay out by the pool, you can do that whenever you want.
Yeah.
But some of the other stuff may have a charge. It may not have a charge. If there is a charge, it's small. But some of that stuff, like Jody is talking about, it's so worth it. I mean, we still have knickknacks laying around our house in various places of stuff that the kids did when they were little, like pillowcases that they
Yes.
decorated and, Disney characters or memory jars from Vero Beach and all that stuff. So, yeah.
And holiday, like usually at the community hall or wherever it'll be like if it's Christmas time, there'll be some Christmas related
Yeah.
arts and crafts. And those are the kind of fun things. I mean, I think they're fun, but of course the kids, I think they're more geared towards the kids, but
No, you just force them to do it.
yeah.
Say
and
it's about making a
And then
memory.
you push them aside and you take over and do it right.
Yeah.
Just because you guys are senior sales advisors doesn't mean you can't do kid things at heart.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Do we
thank
get a
you.
discount then, Paul, because we're senior sales advisors?
We get the senior discount.
Get your AARP card out. But no, I agree. Like all of those art events, and like you said, Jody, I think that like those activity calendars, they should have those in the room. Like they should really give those out more and publicize these events more, and they'd get more people doing them and get more interest in them. But if Disney, if you sell out of the castles and the things like that in terms of paintings, you're welcome. We covered it for you today. I'm going to go next, and since we're in, I guess we're on the path of things that we would like to do that we haven't done. This is one that I've had for a long time, and my wife will not let me do it. But I want to get a Surrey bike.
Oh. He wants to mow people down because that is exactly what's going to happen.
I do not want to mow people down. I want to get it. This is a great idea. I want to do it for DVC Fan, and I want to put it up on our YouTube channel and stuff like that. But I want to do like Surrey bike question and answers around the resort live.
That would be fun.
So one of us focuses on driving while the other reads that person question and answers live. Panda's going to do this with me.
I'm so into. I will walk by you with a microphone as you do the ride.
No, it's a 4-person.
Is this the boardwalk one?
So Surrey bikes are they're located at certain resorts. So Saratoga Springs offers them. Old Key
Boardwalk,
West,
of
course.
Boardwalk's
the main
yeah,
one.
Boardwalk's the one. That's the one he wants to do. I'm a little scared because there's a lot of people around.
And water.
And water.
And hills.
Okay,
Hill.
I have
that
it.
hill going up by the Swan and Dolphin. You see families when they start doing the Surrey bikes. They're all smiles. They're taking selfies. They're all giggling. When I see them go up that hill by the beach club and up by the Swan and Dolphin, they're just pure tears and frustration. So that's where the questions have to start for you, Paul.
my story is I can get up that hill. Great.
Yeah.
Coming down, I can't stop. And all I do is see a family and I hear the bowling pin.
I've seen actual. There's been some influencers and stuff that have done this, and I've seen postings like online and Facebook groups and stuff like that. It's like, oh, I saw so and so at the boardwalk today, and it's literally like just like their Siri bike going down the hill, just mowing down people, and they're
It's hard
laughing
to
and they're
stop.
vlogging from it and stuff like that. So we promise to practice safe Surrey biking if we do this.
Safe Q&A.
Yeah.
And Amy, I will wear a helmet and elbow pads.
I think she's worried about other people, not you.
Okay, yeah. I don't want to get off the rails too much, but I do think Surrey bikes, I think they have other types of rentals too, but I think that's a really great option. But I do want to say this. I taught Paul to ride a bike when he was in college. He didn't know how to ride a bike until then. And then he was
This is true.
determined. We moved like into our first apartment together, and he was determined that he was going to ride his bike to work every day.
Oh, you're gonna
It's okay. Well, I'll edit that
But
out.
anyway, he
No,
used to
she's
have
gonna
to
give you this-
He used
she's
to have
gonna-
to get off and pass people, like walk past them with the bike
Aw.
at the ripe age of like 28.
Make sure the Surrey bike has little training wheels on it.
Anyway, all right.
okay.
So I want to talk about Fort Wilderness because I think that there's a lot of awesome things to do there, and because it's not a DVC resort, we don't really think to go over there is often, but they have so many activities if you're looking for something to do outside of the parks. Paul and I went over to try Circle D Ranch one time to go and see what was going on. There's not a ton to do at that location, but you can go in when it's open. You can see the horses. You can watch them care for them. If you have a younger child, they do have pony rides right there. So that's a really cool place to go and just like look around and explore. But also at Fort Wilderness, I mean,
Is it free?
it is free. You can walk
Cool.
into
Okay.
to Tri-D Circle Ranch, and there's or Tri-Circle D Ranch, and it is free to walk around and see things. The pony rides might cost a little bit, but also other things that they do have for a fee. Usually not. It's not too much either. But there's an archery experience which I really want to try sometime. So where they kind of like teach you how to, shoot bow and arrow, and then you practice with targets. It's
So
only $45.
You're
a
worried
person.
about me on a bike, but we're going to
Right.
shoot
Right?
arrows.
There was an archery team at my school when I was a teacher, and I would actually go down after school before I left for the day, and I would, like, the kids taught me like some shooting. I've only done it a few times, so I don't know that I would be any good. But
Amy Krieger, aka Katniss Everdeen.
and I hit the bullseye like on my second try.
I think I saw this lady on a Surrey bike shooting a bow and arrow. I'm not sure what happened.
Also at Fort Wilderness, they do horseback riding. You can rent, fishing equipment, and there are kayak rentals or canoe rentals where you can kayak or canoe, in the water there. So I think those are all really a lot of cool options that you can do over there.
Halloween time, they haven't had it in a few years since COVID. It was supposed to come back, and I hope it does. I think I got the name wrong. It is the something experience, the Ichabod Crane Sleepy Hollow experience.
Oh.
Is that like haunted hayride thing, or is that a different one?
I think that's different. They took us into a barn. They
Oh,
showed
no,
us the
that's
whole movie of the Sleepy Hollow, Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and then the screen moves up, and there he is on the horse waiting to
Aw.
take pictures with guests. I think it cost $15, and they gave you a limited pin with it. It was an outrageous experience and value, and it was great. And it was supposed to come back last year. I don't think it did. It might be back this year. I hope it is.
That's awesome.
Anything else over at Wilderness Lodge?
They have all kinds of stuff. They have wagon rides and all kinds of stuff. So that's definitely worth checking out. But there's just so many other things at the resort. So like Animal Kingdom Lodge has a Starlight Safari, and so they take you out on the on the savannah at night. You get night vision goggles.
Yep.
So everyone that has done it has said it's a really cool experience. It ranges from like $75 to $89 per person, but it seems like a really cool experience. And then one that I really want Paul and I to go do sometime soon, because they do them on Saturdays and Sundays. Coronado Springs does a Sangria University at Three Bridges, which is the restaurant that's there on the water. So you got this beautiful view, and they teach you about sangria, and you get to sample sangrias, and you get to have little like light snacks and stuff. And
It's a good college. It really
yeah, and that is
Jody, I think we need to
$59.
make a work trip.
I agree.
It's $59 a person. That price includes the taxes and gratuities that you paid up front, kind of like you do with like Hoop-de-Doo, and then everything's covered in that. But I think that sounds like something that would be like a fun like weekend thing to do.
I agree. You could-
Speaking,
I'm sorry, you could even do those night goggles, I think, without that whole tour. Like, you can just go to the front desk and request those night goggles at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah,
for
you
night.
can. Or you used to be able to.
I think you still
Yeah.
can, hopefully.
I'm learning so much on this show today.
Mm,
right?
I didn't know you could get night goggles at the front desk.
yeah.
That's awesome.
There you go.
That's cool.
Speaking of mowing people down, but this time in water, you just recently had a nice segue, right?
I was trying to figure out where's he going to take this segue. That was a good one.
You had a recent experience of a sort of outside the parks activity on the lake.
It was. When I knew that we were going to do this topic, I got super excited, and I emailed everybody here, and I said, I call dibs on renting the pontoon boat. Renting a pontoon boat is something that people know. They most likely haven't done. They see it all the time when they go to the Magic Kingdom because they see these pontoon boats out there. Some of them are, fishing, bass fishing. Those are different. I'm talking about just getting a pontoon boat. You can get it. I've done it for years and years and years. You can get them right now because the Poly Marina's closed. So you can go over to the Grand Floridian. You get a pontoon boat. I think it was when we did it just the other day. It was like $45, I think, for like 30 minutes. But we brought it back after like 40, 45 minutes. So literally it's like under $50 for like 30 to 40 minutes. But you control the whole pontoon boat. So you could bring all of your friends. You can grab some food from, the Gasparilla Grill, go out there on the pontoon boat. You're driving it. It's not like there's a Disney person taking you, okay, you have to go here. You can only stay here for this long. I say it every time I'm there that I feel like it's one of those few things left at Disney that I'm like, I still can't believe that they let you do this. Like, it's just so neat to be able to be in a pontoon boat.
You don't know that it's on a track, right?
Right.
It's not.
You think you're driving it yourself.
That's so perfect. But you can literally go right in front of, Cinderella Castle and just put it right there and then just sit and float and just look over. And then you can take it over to Bay Lake. So then you can go all around Bay Lake. You can go right in front of all the cabins over there and be the people driving the boat. And you do the little wave.
That's where you can see the bear face at the Wilderness Lodge. I looked for a picture. It's very hard to find. But if you're out there on the pontoon, you can see the bear.
You can see it. So that to me is an awesome one. I'm planning on doing it when we go for 2 nights to the Polynesian coming up in March. One of the things I can't wait to do. It's just so awesome to just get a pontoon boat. It's just so
weird
fun.
That we're talking about this because Mark and I planned Saratoga. I booked 2 nights. When you're local, it's kind of, some people say you're local. Why would you buy DVC? I think it's the complete opposite for me. But we go to Saratoga Springs just so that we can go to Disney Springs and drink a little bit and not worry about it and walk back to
for sure.
You could enjoy the springs differently and go right back to your house at Saratoga.
Yeah.
And so to add to that, so there's multiple locations it looks like that you could get a boat from. So like the Contemporary, Grand Floridian, but also Beach Club and Yacht Club's Marina. So could you
could do them there.
Do that water too?
And I mean, just my personal opinion, I've done them there. I've done them everywhere. I much prefer Bay Lake and the Seven Seas Lagoon because you can take it around Epcot. Obviously, you can't go into World Showplace Lagoon and start going around. But so you can take it and kind of float around in front of the Boardwalk and Beach Club, and then you could take it down past the Swan and Dolphin and go to the studios. But in terms of just, if you're going to get one, it's the same price. It's not like it's cheaper. It's way cooler to be in front of Cinderella Castle and the Wilderness Lodge and all that. So
that was good to know.
That's my 2 cents.
We also did the fireworks cruise on one of the pontoon boats about a year ago.
Yes.
For a friend's birthday. And that was...
We
That was a great
did. And
time.
so that is where we did the private one. There is a DVC one as well. It's on certain nights. It's on like
nights.
Wednesdays, I think. And you're with other DVC members that booked it. And I think that that's great. It's honestly, when you break it down, the price is pretty much the same as doing the private if you have enough people to fill up a private one, because it holds up to 10 people. So our friends did a private fireworks cruise for one of their birthdays, and we did it. It was awesome. So what they did was they and we were, because we weren't driving, because there was a cast member that drove, you are allowed to have alcohol
on
the boat
on those private ones.
On the private
totally
ones
can.
where the cast member is driving, and you're not driving. And so we had snacks, we had some beers, and they take you out, and first they do kind of like a little tour of Bay Lake, and you go by Wilderness Lodge and the Contemporary.
There's Derek. He's still out on his boat 3 days later.
and that's where they showed us the bear thing. So I saw that someone was asking for a picture and I couldn't find it, but we saw it as well because the cast member on the boat pointed it out to us that the Wilderness Lodge looks like a bear from that angle. But anyway, then they take you over in front of Magic Kingdom. You watch the fireworks. The music is on the boat, so it's all there for you. And then after that, they took us over to right in front of Grand Floridian, and then we watched the electric water pageant, and that was as close as I've ever been. I felt like we were right up in the water pageant. And so that was just a really cool experience. And when you break it down, the price between if you could get 10 people or even 8 or so, it was a really good price. Do you know how much that was by any chance, Paul?
I do not know the total. It does vary depending on season and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and the pricing could have been updated since then. But another thing you had on the list here, Christmas time, there's all kinds of things to do at all of the resorts. We've taken time from each year to sort of try to make it to each resort to see the holiday decorations and things like that. And we always sort of have our favorite that we pick every year, but it's just great to see the resorts that time of the year and during the season and stuff like that. When you were joking about still being on the boat, I sort of thought to myself, I was like, you said for all these years that you sold on cruise ships, but it was actually this little pontoon just in the middle of...
I do presentation, and my family would say, "We're already members. Stop talking about DVC."
Stop, Derek. Stop.
But as we said earlier, great list of all of these things and more that we've not even gotten to.
I know. Now that we've started, the more I think about it, there's just so much.
Yeah,
Arcades and everything.
Yeah, Amy has on here the Disney Aerophile hot air balloon at
That's true.
Springs.
True,
That's a
yeah.
wonderful
Yeah.
one. We
And-
did that once, and it was
Yeah.
like right around sunset or something like that.
I love the
beautiful
view.
time. It is very hit or miss in terms of whether or not it's operating. It's very temperamental with the wind. You don't want the hot air balloon to just float away.
Yeah. If you're an owner of Saratoga Springs, because I just love that resort, and you want to get a really cool picture of your home resort, like go up in that balloon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you can get like the coolest aerial shot of that whole resort. Something else I do want to say is a lot of the things that we had talked about, they cost money, but there are a lot of like free or cheaper things to do. Like Paul said, resort hopping, visiting the resorts. It doesn't even have to be to see it at Christmas time. It could just be to hop around and check out the lobbies and, look in the gift shops and stuff like that. Disney Springs always has, a ton of free live entertainment, throughout the evenings at they have like 4 or 5 different stages and areas where they have free live music. But there's also there's a lot of things that you can do. Every resort has walking paths and trails and things like that. So there's also a lot of things that you can do, without having to spend money as well.
And I mean, I think it's like what Jody said too. Like the first thing that she said is probably the most popular thing and probably the most underrated thing is just enjoy time to hang out at your pool. Just enjoy. Because we talked to so many families, Jody and I, over so many years that, a lot of times those trips are chock full. And maybe out of a 7-day trip, they go, God, you know what? We had one day where we just relaxed by the pool. But then they get home and they talk about it as a family. And one of the favorite parts of that trip was the
the
day,
pool day.
like Jody said, where they just hung out at the pool. They didn't go to any parks and they just went to the arcade, like John said,
Yeah.
and just explore that resort. So I think Jody kicked it off perfect, that there's still a ton of things you can do for free
And
that
I
are at your
think
resort.
that downtime is important. I know especially when we were touring families and they'd give us their itinerary and they'd have little ones, 5, 6 years old. And they're like, well, and we were catching the fireworks and then we're going to get back at midnight. And I'm like, and we've all seen the meltdowns on the monorail and all of that. Right. And I just feel I'm like, are y'all having fun? Because that's supposed to be, no one here looks like they're having fun. And I'm not, I would be one of those moms too, having a meltdown because my kid's having a meltdown, but you kind of want to say, stop.
Smell the
You can
roses.
unplan your trip a little bit and just chillax, whether it's to go back during the middle of the day or come back early or go into the parks late. And I get it. When you're spending the kind of money you're spending for a park ticket, you're not wanting to necessarily cut the day short. I mean, back
Right.
to when we had annual passes, that's more when you'd see the coming and going. But I don't know how much fun everyone's really having at 10, 11, midnight, when you've got little tiny ones that have been there since 8 o'clock in the morning.
And that's the whole key about why do you become Disney Vacation Club members to begin with. And that's what
Right.
Jody and I would tell families. And that's why we still are blessed to tell thousands of families every single year. Is like the best part about being a member, guys, is you're coming back. So in a way, everybody keeps saying, oh, I wish I had the annual pass. Your DVC membership is kind of like having a resort annual pass.
Right.
Right? Because
True.
you've already paid for it. So you know that this trip, you don't have to cram everything in all at once because you know you're going to come back. So we'll do the Magic Kingdom next trip, but let's just take 3 out of the 7 days and just be with each other and just have fun that doesn't
Yeah.
involve Genie Plus or doesn't involve lines.
Lots of
Look
planning.
at that. You brought us full circle. You don't need an annual pass. You already have one.
Yeah.
Make sure to put in fine print. Derek did not mean this does not guarantee admission to any
You will
Disney
not
theme
get into
park.
any Disney
I'm
theme
waiting
park.
for all the phone calls. Thanks, Derek,
Yeah,
for people on chat. So I hear now when I buy DVC, it includes
It's
an
your
annual pass.
resort pass.
And I'm going to
Your
say,
Jody's gonna.
"Hey,
I'll patch you through.
here's
Derek.
Derek's phone number. Here you go.
Resort pass.
One more thing, you do not have to be in a park to see the fireworks. So,
Right.
go to the Polynesian Beach, go to the Grand Floridian Marina and watch the fireworks. You can see, the Epcot fireworks from a lot of locations at Boardwalk. So there are options. We're going to Riviera, the observation deck on the, at the Contemporary. So there are also lots of options if you still want to see the fireworks at the end of the night. If you're doing a resort only stay, you can still watch them. Or from your room if you have a good view.
All
I'm
right.
excited.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, I'm excited for a room only stay or resort only stay pretty soon. Room, resort, whatever.
Don't leave your room.
Potato. I'm not gonna leave.
Surrey
You don't
bike.
leave the room. You can
That'll
wash
be-
your hands in the sink.
That's gonna be the next.
Open and close the refrigerator repeatedly.
That's gonna be our next show. Is we're gonna talk about the that's probably a Patreon only show, for sure. But yeah, if you guys like some of these ideas, definitely head over to dvcfan.com. Check out the article that Amy wrote. She's got links to the various activities in there as well, so that you can head over to the Disney page and see those. Maybe look at booking one of those. It'll give you the booking information and all of that kind of fun stuff. As always, if you like this video, please give us that thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and head over to dvcfan.com for more content. DVC Fan Facebook group if you'd like to join in the conversation over there as well. I think I have said everything I could possibly say at this point.
We've covered Surrey bikes, archery, and just about everything else.
And hair care products.
And hair care products.
So this has just been a hodgepodge of a show, but thank you guys as always for watching, and we will see you next week.